Hi guys, it's Cindy with Pups and Crochet, and this is my second video, and Robert is not with me today. This time, he went to bed. He has to work. So, this is my hashtag that 80's show. I wanted to show you some things from my 80's box that I pulled out. First, who is it? Who is it? Oh no, it's Mr. Bill. No. He was my favorite on Saturday Night Live, along with Gumby. Gumby had it. So I just pulled out a few things I wanted to show you that I still have from the 80's. And look who this is. Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you tell? It's Snuffleupagus. Look at it. It is Snuffleupagus. He was my favorite on Sesame Street. But nowadays, they try to kick him off because they don't think kids should have imaginary friends. I grew up with him, and I don't have imaginary friends. I loved him. He was my favorite. Hey, big bird. Hey, big bird. He's Snuffy. He's Snuffy. But he was my favorite. And why they want to take that away from the kids now, I have no idea. But he was my favorite. Then I want to show you something that started in the 70's that lapped over into the 80's. Okay, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, the clocks on our phones. We didn't have all that kind of crazy stuff. We had regular alarm clocks. But I grew up with this. Raggedy Ann and Andy. Okay, and they are the alarm clock. And you set your time, and then you push the button, and then when the button comes on, they start singing. I was like, oh God, how did it go? Please get up and start your happy day. Brush your teeth, get out of bed, and start your happy day. And that is all it would say until you got up. There is no snooze button. You had to literally get up and go, shut it off, and this thing would keep playing and playing and playing until you got up. Okay? So I was telling my niece a story about this clock, and that I loved this clock. Even though I hated this clock for waking me up, but I love this clock. She went and found one. And here it is. In the flesh. Starting 1974 until I ended up breaking it in the 80's because it wouldn't shut up. It just kept going. So I'm trying to remember how to set it so that you could hear it talk. See if I can get it to talk. Come on. Talk for me, baby. See if it's gonna do it. Fast forward it a little bit. So we'll see. We'll give it a minute and see if it's going to talk. This is a very old clock, so we'll see. I just put brand new batteries in it, and we'll see if she starts to talk. Because I have to remember how to set it. Now they also have on the side of the box where you could get the Raggedy Ann toothbrush, Raggedy Andy toothbrush, and the Raggedy Ann and Andy shoe shine kit. Please get up and start your happy day. And it has a 30-hour wind-up clock. Set it for any time. Raggedy Ann and Andy will keep calling you until you turn them off. Oh, sit down. I see a little girl rubbing her eyes like, oh, yeah, that didn't happen. You got mad at the clock. Let's see. Okay, so you got your buttons back here. And this is the on and off button here. So that's off. Okay, and then we turn it on. And then in the middle of it says, I love you, and it says talking alarm clock. And you can hear it ticking. But she got me this, and she got it for me for Christmas a while ago. And I just cried my eyes out when I saw it because it was so special to me. Because I couldn't believe that she remembered it. Let's see if I spin it around. I'm trying to get her to talk for you. It's set, we'll see. But it was just such a beautiful gift. And I just wanted to show it to you. Even if she's deciding not to talk today, I have to read the instructions and figure out how to reset these clocks because I haven't done it in a really long time. You see it has the original packing that was in there. She sits down in there. And these are the instructions. And you can tell it's from 1974. But I just wanted to show you that because I thought you might find that interesting. But I guess she's deciding not to talk today. I can hear it ticking. I don't know why it's not talking. Hold it up. It's ticking. But the speaker is right here. Those little lines are. And it's loud. She's loud when she talks. Come on, get up, brush your teeth, and start a happy day. That is what it would say. Right now, it's not cooperating with me to talk. I'll go over the instructions and try and get it to talk. But I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to show you Snuffleupagus and Mr. Bell, because They are amazing from our childhood. What do they got now? Cartoons. Now they want to make Cookie Monster the Veggie Monster because they don't think it's right for him to be eating cookies. That's the whole point. What is the big deal? They're blowing it out of proportion. If they get that big of a group together to try and ban something that was part of our childhood and did not do anything wrong, why can't they band together and do something that's worthwhile? Because taking away some childhood memories and things that these kids can grow up with now is crazy. Put your energy into something else. It'll be awesome. Do it. None of us got hurt. What did we do in the 80s? We never went inside. We didn't have clocks. We didn't have watches on. We played. When the street lights came on, boom, you knew it was time to go home. You'd run down the gangways. You'd run in the backyards. You'd get a hose. You'd drink out of the hose. Yes. Everybody shared the same hose and drank out of it, and none of us died from it. We're just fine. And I remember I was telling the kids, I took them back down to Cicero because out in the suburbs and, out here, they don't have gangways. So when I took the kids back looking at where we used to live and stuff and where we grew up and everything, they wanted to know how did we get away from the gangs that were in the gangway? I'm like, no, just call it a gangway. Because usually when you used it, you were a bunch of gang of kids running. Not gangs, but gangs of kids. And it's called a gangway. But they were expecting gangs to come out. And that was like their ultimate test in driving. Because, in the suburbs, they don't park on both sides of the streets. And where it's only narrow enough to get through one lane. So before I let them go on their own, and they were still driving with me, I would take them back down to Cicero, and we would go over and get Al's Pizza, and then I'd tell them, okay, now you drive. Okay, they've never seen cars parked on either side of the street like that on both sides, and you just had to go through the middle. And cars don't have the bumpers anymore, so you can't teach them how to go skeeching because you have to have a real bumper on the car, and you get stuck in the snow. The kids would all come running and push you out and say, hey, I'll push you out. You let me skeech. I'm like, okay. And then when they'd skeech on the back of the car till they got done. They'd tap on the back of the car, wave, let go, and whoosh, there they went sliding. That was our scheme. Can you do it now? No, because these cars have no bumpers to hold on to. It's all fiberglass, and it's just all one piece. There's no grip. You can't do it anymore. Well, I guess Raggedy Ann and Andy are not going to talk for me. I don't know why. I'll read the instructions. I'll make sure. I'll figure it out. Because I shut it off, set the alarm, turn it back on. All right. I guess they're not going to talk. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and show that to you because I thought you might find that interesting and to know a little bit more about the 80s. In the beginning of the 80s, where we all had our bobs and stuff, before it came out with Madonna with the black bracelets and the fingerless gloves and everything. That was like mid-80s. And then you got the Valley Girls, like, oh, Tilly for sure. Like, gag me with a spoon. Oh, my God. Are you for real? Oh, ugh. Oh. Okay. And that's the ticket. But I just wanted to show you that because I thought it was interesting, and I thought maybe you might find it interesting because every now and then I go into my little box of 80s and I pull them out. I still have my 80s cards from my prom that gave us our menu when we got to the dance hall. I still got the tickets from Great America that day. The day after, you have prom, you always went to Great America. You spent the whole day there. And never wear jeans to Great America, just so you know, because Wearing jeans and getting wet leaves nothing but messing up your legs really bad. And it hurts really bad. But you do it anyway. But this was from my Kristen. So I just wanted to show you my beautiful clock, even though she's deciding not to talk right now. But I will read the instructions and figure out what I'm doing wrong. But I wanted to show her to you because it is just beautiful. It's like one of my prized possessions. Along with my pillow, I have a pillow. It was a feather pillow that I've had since I was 2 years old. I still have her to this day. She doesn't have much feathers left in her. She's kind of, wore out. But she's been in the hospital with me because I used to be in the hospital all the time when I was little. And I couldn't have my own room. I had to sleep on a couch bed with my sister because I would bleed from my mouth and they didn't know why. And by the time they would find me, I was in a puddle. So I would have to sleep on the couch bed with Vicky. And that way, if I rolled off the bed or I bumped my head, whatever it took to start it off, all I do is bam, bam, bam on the couch bed. Vicky would go jumping over me, go get my mom. My mom would come running, call the ambulance. I was back in Loyola. And I would stay there between 1 to 3 months till they got it to stop and everything. And my fever would be 100, 304. So they would take me. And at that time, they used to just put ice on you. But I would always have to wear clothes to sleep, my jeans and a top, or pants and a top, because I would never knew when they were end up going to have to go. Excuse me. And I would end up, and they would take you through, and I still remember going through these push open gray doors or silver doors, whatever you want to call it. And they would take me into the room and drop me into this big tub, like you would feed cows and chickens or cows and pigs and stuff out of a big trough. And they would drop you in there and then they would just cover you full of ice till you were shaking like this. And then, I'd get put in my room once the fever went down. And it was an amazing time. It's a great story. I have so many memories of it. And my pillow, Sally, went with me everywhere. And to this day, she still takes every trip with me. She goes everywhere I go. Not day to day, but if I leave, she goes with me because I have to sleep because she's got just enough feathers in her where I can puff it down and lay it over my eyes like this. But she is my other prized possession that I have because my grandma, when I would go to sleep after they get me into the hospital, Mom would give my grandma the pillow. My mom and my grandma would sit there and wash out the feathers and dry them and then restuff my pillow. And the pillow has like 50 pillowcases sewed over it, from where they washed it. And then they'd put a new one and they'd sew that one on it. And it's just crazy. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of that because I haven't done any of my hashtag 80s for a little bit. I am working on another project that I will show you that we have got together, and that's what we're planning on doing. So I will show you that when I get it done. And that is about it for now. So I will catch back up to you again later. Have a great day. Hugs and puppy kisses. Prayers if you need them. Remember, adopt, don't shop. There's too many babies. I'm becoming like the crazy cat lady outside because now I've got, if you look at my snow outside, I've got puppy prints from these guys. I've got squirrel prints because if I don't feed my squirrels at a certain time, they will bring something and leave it right on my doorstep to tell me that they're hungry and I have to take them their food. So I showed you the little short of my little black cat that's come back. Can't tell if it's male or female yet. And then this morning, the little gray cat was out, so they're taking turns. I don't think they get along. So they're either both females or both males, but they don't get along. I still haven't found my little orange cat yet, but I am hoping that she'll come back. And I haven't found that baby pig that was running around. It escaped. I was running through the yard, and I tried to catch it, but it was really fast. And it went through the little shrubs and around, and I lost it. So I don't know where he went. But I keep trying to catch him. And this little black one is getting closer and closer to me, so I might be able to get her or him in and maybe find it a forever home so he doesn't have to freeze outside. Because he doesn't like being in the snow. He's like walking like, don't touch it, don't. Well, I hate this white stuff. And then Peanut seen it sitting on the porch, and he went bonkers. And they know when the dogs are there, and the little black one doesn't care. She seen me out there walking Peanut, and she said, I'm gonna go eat anyway. So then when I walk up Peanut, then she goes on the corner till Peanut's inside, and then comes back and finishes eating. Poor little things are starving, so I gotta make sure I always have food for them. So I will let you go. I will give you back your time. I just wanted to show you that. I thought it was interesting. I will figure out how to make her talk, and then I will get back to you. Bye for now. I'll see you later.